Andrew here from Two Dads, One Journey. David's actually feeding Mateo right now. It's about that time. So Mateo's older brother Dante just left. He was here for a little bit celebrating his 21st birthday. So Mateo and his older brother Dante are almost exactly 21 years apart, which is kind of crazy when I think about it, or when anybody thinks about it, I guess. Starting all over. If you have questions about that situation, feel free to ask, and I am willing to answer. I'm an open book. But that aside, what we were able to accomplish was we were able to accomplish getting Mateo's actual birth certificate. Things here in Mexico are done a little bit different. So when a baby's born in the hospital, what they receive is a certificate of live birth. And on this certificate, what you typically see is the birth mother's information and the infant's statistics, but not necessarily names or anything like that. There's not much information. So we had to take that along with some paperwork from the lawyer that we have. And in addition to that, some of the paperwork from the agency that we're working with, New Life, that showed parentage. So we headed down to the civil registry, which I'll post a picture up here real quick so you can get an idea of what it looks like. And that's where we obtained his birth certificate. Now, they do things a little different here as well when it comes to the birth certificate. There are two surnames or two last names required for every child born. Typically, it would be the mother's maiden name and then the father's name or the mother's married name. Obviously, that wasn't the case for us. So, what we ended up doing was using my last name twice. David chose to use his marriage name, and I obviously used my birth name. So Mateo actually has his last name doubled on all of his paperwork at this time. That might change in the future. We'll see what happens when we go to get his passport. There's an opportunity there to make a few adjustments, and if they're willing to, we may do that. Um, I will say that I was a little bit uncomfortable at the civil registry. I usually feel really comfortable here in Cancun, but I just felt like I was sticking out like a sore thumb. It may be the fact that I'm of African descent and over 6 feet, and people here tend to be of a shorter stature. And I was carrying a little baby. Not only that, but I was there with my husband, so I'm sure that it was kind of a sight to see for everybody. But everything at the end of the day went really well. They asked us if we wanted to add Mateo's footprint to his birth certificate. Now, that's typical for the keepsake birth certificates that you get in the United States. So, of course, we said yes. But then they did the cutest thing, which is required. They typically don't use the footprint, but what they do is that they use his little thumbprint as identification on the birth certificate. So that was absolutely adorable, and that's definitely going to be a keepsake for us. Um, Again, guys, we're doing this to help people like us, people in the LGBTQIA community, or people that are facing fertility issues, to help them know that there are other ways to become parents. And this is just one of the many ways. If there are people like that in your life, we'd really like to encourage you to like and share our videos so that they can have some hope and maybe follow the path that we followed if it's right for them. Other than that, I'd like to wish you guys a good morning, afternoon, or night, and we'll chat again soon.